Light doesn't turn on. Good morning. Are we on? Okay. It is 10 o'clock. It is the third day of August 2026, and we are immediately following Commissioners Court in the Commissioners Courtroom in the Ramsey County Courthouse located at 308 North Live Oak, Rockport, Texas 78382, and I call this workshop to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney?
Here.
Commissioner Casterline?
Here.
Commissioner Russo? Here. Commissioner Dupnick?
Here.
Judge Garza?
Here. We've got a full court, and it's not on here, but I'm going to add citizens to be heard. Oh, thank you.
During our workshop?
Never mind.
Yes. We should have, it should be on here. So Jeff Hutt, come on up.
Jeff Hutt, 2201 Prairie Road. Judge, the original drawings for the three-story courthouse, did it include a courtroom that would have been big enough to hold jury selection?
We don't sit-
No, okay. So it's my understanding that you guys are going to have to build a new courtroom that's going to be able to hold voir dire or jury selection. And I'm guessing this is going to be need to be done sooner than later. So and the last time we made decisions, and then we kind of figured out afterwards how we're going to do the maintenance and the insurance and all. So as we're looking at these budgets going forward, I would appreciate if you guys would pre-plan and start planning within these budgets, setting money aside for construction cost, about architects and maintenance and insurance. And this way we can get ahead of it. And when y'all do go out for a bond, if you do choose to go out for a bond for this, we have enough kind of leeway where we understand what's going on, and that there's enough input from lawyers in the community and other people who actually use it. So it's a good project going forward. That's it. And I'd like to say also, last time I came in and I talked about having commissioners earn larger salaries and us pay our elected officials more. I really think that that's important, because when your elected officials are here because they're making a salary and they're worried about a salary, they're much more likely to vote, as the majority of the voting population does, than they are about a small segment. And I think that would really benefit our community greatly. So thank you, sir. I appreciate you putting it on there.
Thank you. All right, now we're going to discuss the general discussion on the fiscal year 2027 budget with elected officials and department heads as scheduled. All right. Pull up the budget. So I sent out an email on the 23rd, kind of giving an update where we're at. I sent one more recent than that, didn't I?
think so.
Thursday, maybe Wednesday or Thursday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one's old. Shoot. Printed the wrong one. Anyway, we got some work to do. We've got some more cuts to make. If we want to give pay raises or the salary study any consideration, we've just got to do better. All right.
So I did give you all a workup of what tax rate that we did get from Anna, and calculating out what tax revenue, and I gave you 3 different scenarios. No new revenue rate, voter approval rate, and then the same as last year. Same tax rate as last year.
And I guess just for the record, last year's tax rate was 0.3785. This year's no new revenue rate is 0.376473. So it went down just a tad bit. And the voter approval rate is 0.381634.
Tana, you gave us these 3 pages?
Yes, sir.
And each one has a different tax rate applied?
Yes, sir,
Well-
it does. So if you look at the page I gave you with the recap, I'm trying to get it so I can hold it up and show you.
He has yellow,
This
yellow on
one,
it. Yeah.
if you'll see at the very bottom of that page, it does show what the ending balance of general fund is and what the deficit is for each.
So,
And that
that's,
would match.
that's that number down here
Mm-hmm.
on these, okay.
Yes, sir.
So if we went to the voter approval rate, we're still looking at a deficit right under 500,000. That's without pay raises. Or positions.
But you don't have salaries or anything plugged in,
No, sir.
so you don't really know what we're looking.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, not any increases, not any of
Yeah,
the,
so it's kind of hard to pick a rate before you
Right.
know the whole story.
So I don't know if you wanted to discuss any of that, but I do have numbers. So if we did do a COLA, a 2.5% COLA across the board, that expense with benefits to salaries would be an additional $354,000. If we did the salary study, we had what Desiree did bring to you all were two different scenarios. One with a 10% increments. That cost would be $251,300. And then the 7.5% increment scenario would cost about $339,700.
Okay, tell me the 10% again was how much?
The 10%, it was 251,300.
Okay, and the 7.5%?
That was 339,700.
So with 7.5, you didn't get them backwards or something? Did I hear you?
No, it's the way that the scale worked that we came up with HR. Some will be getting them, some will not. The 10%, gosh, I didn't review my notes in Desiree. Do you want to add what the scale was, how we came up with that?
So for the scale, we looked at how underpaid each employee was. So like for the 10% scale, between 1 and 10% underpaid, you get 1 step. And then the next 10%, you get 2 steps. So the 7.5% scale, it's smaller. So 1 and 7.5% underpaid, you get 1 step. And then up to 15%, it's 2 steps. So that's why it's a little more costly, because they'll get more with the 7.5% increments.
You sent an email out Friday evening, I think, and I appreciate that email showing the effects of doing the step increases. And
Yes.
there are a couple of options, and I guess one thing is, I'm looking at it from my stand right now, I'm thinking we can't afford to do a COLA and a step increase both. If we do a COLA only, the gap for employees is gonna grow
Greater.
greater still. So maybe we need to focus on doing the salary study, put that into play instead. And
I agree.
And, you know, your alternatives I thought were very good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
That was a great email, thank you.
Thank you.
So say again, because I had that same question, like, okay, 10% is less money than the 7.5%, but now that you've explained it, I understand. But could you say those parameters once again? Because I
Yes.
was listening and not writing.
So it's like 1 to 7.5% would be 1 step, and then up to 15% would be 2 steps, and then up to 22.5% would be 3 steps. So it just goes in that order. And then for the 10% increment, it's 1 to 10% is 1 step, and then up to 20% is 2 steps, and up to 30% is 3 steps.
And I also agree that the COLA just continues to increase the differential and the discrepancy in the pay structure that we have. And we paid for that salary study, a lot of time and in resources from our staff went into that, and I just really feel we need to implement that. We have good information, we've looked at it here. You brought that person in, I think, just online to talk to us about it. And I really think it behooves us to try and correct some of the problems that have been created in the past.
So Commissioner Russo, you're saying that you think we ought to do the percent increase rather than the COLA increase?
Correct. I think we
Okay.
should implement the salary study.
Well, that makes a big difference because, COLA, I mean, heavens knows they need a COLA, but we can't do both. At
Correct.
least I don't see that we can. But we have to start with the base rate repair first, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what this would do. And I think
Yeah.
that 7.5% increments make a lot more sense and would get us closer to parity. I mean, we're not going to get there.
Correct. If we did what the salary study proposed, we'd be over $1 million. So
Right, we're not
we
gonna
tried to
do
do a smaller portion of that just to get towards the right direction.
Right, and make some of the exceptionally low salaries that we have more attractive than when we're trying to hire or
Yes.
even to promote.
And it's several elected officials that are included in this study. We didn't have the commissioners included. They couldn't compare y'all to other
No, they can't.
counties, so they couldn't come up with a suggestion for y'all.
Okay, and I didn't know that there were elected officials in there, but I
Yes,
don't
there's-
necessarily have a problem with that. I just think that we need to start getting things more attractive, more with our market.
And with this, by implementing this salary study, whatever step we decide to go with, employees are still going to be eligible during the course of the year for a step increase. Is that correct?
That's if y'all vote on that, if y'all choose.
That-
So I
that'll
do
be
want.
something we will vote on that.
Yes, and I do want directors to keep that in mind. So if your employee gets a huge increase from the salary study, don't punish them by not giving them a step increase. That's based off merit. This study is just to correct things.
Well, if we didn't have all of the expenses that we have now because of the courthouse and different things like that, I'd say go for both of them. But I don't see how they need to start at the salary they need to be at the salary they should be at anyway, irregardless of COLA or whatever it is. And I would say start moving with that first, because it's still more money, but it doesn't take into account the value of the money. I understand that, but we can't. It's like chicken and eggs. Which can you do most of? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would say that the 7.5 is the greater amount of money, and that does put us closer to what we need. So I would say that we need to look at the 7.5 or 10% increase, whichever one it is. 7.5 seems to be more equitable across the board.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that COLA does. It does give equality across the board. But I would be in favor of the 7.5.
I
Thank you.
would like to also add that in regards to the step increases that you mentioned, there is still in the budget, the 75,000 that
We'll-
is set
we'll
aside
keep
for
that.
that.
We'll keep it
So
there.
Desiree, we heard from the tax office that their people are still less than the clerks. Are there other departments that appear to be lower than they should be even after the study, or?
Some of them were surprising, but I will say the tax office was the most surprising. But like Anna said, she cross-trains her girls, and they do more than what other tax offices do as
So did
well.
you go back to the people doing the study and see if they realize that, or?
I mean, I can take it back to them, or we can make the decision to increase those up to what the other clerks are. Just depends on what the court would like me to do.
Well, I think we have the results of the salary survey, and we know what it would cost us, and we know which positions it would impact. And, we're in August, we need to make decisions, so I would recommend we go with that 7.5%. I mean, I don't think we're voting because this is just workshop.
Right.
To give some kind of direction to the auditor's office.
Okay.
I'm fine with that, but we still got to make cuts because this
Right.
7.5%, it gets tacked on to the already deficit that's being shown.
And when that 7.5% would be 339,000 plus.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's on the departments
Yep.
to look to their budgets and come back with their reduced amounts. I mean, I don't think they want us sitting here making cuts.
No.
We could do it, but I think it would be better to have it come from them. They're the ones that have to live with it, but they also know what's reasonable and where they can make cuts.
I'll bring this up because I know people want to hear it, but I think one of the first places would be cuts or would be people asking for new positions.
Correct.
Because right now, probably right at, somewhere around, what, 40% of the department's expenses are salaries, probably, on average?
Oh, at least,
At
probably more than that.
And you throw in the loading and everything, I'm sure. And, so people would really have to make do, I think, with what they have staffing. I know we had JPs, we've had our tax people have come in, and treasurers came in and everything, but we have to really look at that, I think, to maybe as far as new positions, holding down on this year's budget to keep the tax rate as low as we can.
Thank you, Desiree.
Thank you. Okay.
So I think
We
there's a
also
consensus
need,
that
I'm
we
sorry,
could-
we just
Think-
need a, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, we need to have an idea on the proposed tax rate because we have to have that on the next week's agenda.
Okay. But consensus is, let's put 7.5% with this budget.
Okay.
We'll keep that
Yes, on the
75.
salary study.
Yep.
But I mean, you
Yeah.
want to know if we want to say no new revenue, voter approval, or last year's tax rate?
Just an idea, yes, ma'am.
And I'm a little confused now, to be honest, because basically the paper you gave us this morning, it's got the, like I said, at the bottom, it shows our deficits. But we have two papers here. One of them is dated 7/30, and it matches that. The other one is January 1st, August 1st, and it doesn't match that. So we're going by the July 30th paper.
No, you should have had another one of these.
You should have.
But the dollar amounts don't hit.
Because do you have a new sheet like this that is dated August 1st?
We do?
I don't.
I do.
It was laying on the
Do you?
desk.
Oh,
It was
I
laying
see,
on
I
the
see.
desk
It was in
this
our
morning.
box this morning.
Yeah.
I guess I need to, maybe I just don't have.
Oh, yeah,
that's where it's
okay.
going.
I do. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I was comparing it to what Tan had given me on Saturday, and it didn't work, but, okay,
have this?
now I see
Thank you.
these.
Okay, that's, I was having trouble also.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Commissioner. Sorry.
Well, I think we either need to look at last year's rate or voter approval rate.
Well,
There's only a half a cent between the two of them.
I would say consensus would be voter approval rate.
I'll go with the voter approval rate.
That would have been my recommendation, so.
The .381634.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, I gave mine to him.
Yes, you're right.
So if nothing else changed, we would just add the 339, or 340,000.
And I did do that already, and it did come out to $833,482 deficit.
833,000.
482.
Okay.
We get some additional cuts on it, then that would bring that number down.
That's without the cuts that had been requested.
Exactly.
Earlier by
Yes, sir.
departments.
We have in the past 10 years, I guess, I've been doing this almost 10, have always had a deficit budget. I know we would like to have a balanced budget, and that would be the goal always. Last year, it was a little over $1 million. We are scheduled and on track. I don't want to say it too loud because, but it really looks good. Our fund balance looks good this year. Everybody's been kind of frugal, and things have come in less than what we had anticipated. If people will continue to be frugal and be mindful of their spending and not go out and just, because the money's in the budget, let's spend it, we should actually increase fund balance this year.
Last year, we had $1 million deficit.
Yes,
A
sir.
little over. How much did we dip into that at the end of the year? We didn't take that full million.
When we did the audit, it was like $9,000.
Right.
I mean, we really did good last
Yeah,
year.
we did really well.
We're moving, I know we want to get the balanced budget, but we're moving closer, I think we are. It's just, it's like everything else, like we're trying to do the salaries, it's gonna have to be steps.
And eventually, we'll not have the expenses of bringing the courthouse and the community center online either.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe a resolution to the lawsuit.
Not have all the attorney's fees.
That would be good
That would
too.
be nice. That would help almost balance the budget.
So if we went with the voter approval rate and looking at basically a little over 833,000 deficit
Yes, sir.
compared to last year's deficit was how much when we
A
started?
little over $1 million.
A little over a
1,042,000.
million, so we're bringing it down. I mean, maybe not as much we all want to.
All right.
So we have a list of questions of things that we talked about in the previous meeting. Looks like on the list that we need to say yea or nay.
Still
or
need some direction.
What was that?
The sheet that's in the back. Some other stuff that,
That's on my other.
Just a reminder, in a workshop, we can't vote.
Right, right.
okay.
We're not voting.
Do you need this, Judge?
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Thank you.
Major issues.
So are we going to meet again tomorrow then?
We don't need
We
to.
won't meet.
Me and you were talking about the budget and salaries also mentioned, and commissioners' court, commissioners' salaries were mentioned also, previously, for commissioners. Okay. If I could speak about that, Judge?
Yeah.
Okay, because from my position on my part, it was brought up that when a member of the public, I want to say one of our community, I won't say activists, but someone who does show interest and does a lot in our community to get the public involved, was saying that one reason no one ran against me, in his opinion, was that that the salaries were not sufficient. I don't think anybody on this court really has taken a salary as a major factor for them to run for Commissioners Court. You know, we're here to serve the public and give back to the community as far as that goes. And everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I'm also a believer in term limits. And one reason I'm a believer in term limits is the fact that I think, because people, and not all elected officials, some elected officials are really necessary to have a long-term involvement with what they're doing, but there are other positions, I think term limits come into play as a factor. When people start to depend on a salary as their source of income, I think sometimes they can this is my personal belief, they can start thinking about that salary and they need to stay in office and they lose the public focus. So I think as far as the commissioners in this county for what we do, for what I do personally, I mean, when you think about it, you know, what I do personally, what my responsibilities are, and I think extra things, I think the pay I would receive is commensurate for what I do. There are a lot of people in this community I've talked to over a period of time that are actually have good reputations in the community, have good business sense. They may be business owners, they may be employees where their companies could allow them to participate in Commissioner's Court. But I think the biggest reason people don't run for office in this community is because of the social climate in the community and not the salaries that commissioners receive. I think every commissioner on this court, every person on this court, yourself included, you're here because you have a sincere heart to serve the public. And I think that's the main key, not the salary. I read something, and I want to share this with y'all. If you want to get rich, you go into the private sector. If you want to build and protect your community, you become a public servant. That sacrifice is precisely why so few people step forward to do it. And anyway, I just wanted to share that when it comes to my salary was brought up as a prime example and tied to people not running. I think that's like I say, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but salary should be the main consideration for someone to run for public office. That's just my position.
Now, when I first ran, I didn't know what the salary was until after I took office.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
It wasn't a good one. I built houses.
I'd like to say something that ties in with Commissioner Dubnik. If you look up in the Webster Merriam Dictionary under government employee, its definition is public servant. It doesn't matter whether or not you're elected. If you're an employee, you are a public servant.
right.
And I think that's a lost thought process these days.
Right. And we do need continuity in certain positions in government because, I mean, you have functions that do need that continuity. And I'll be honest too, when I was talking about that, I'm not derogatory of this court because I'm actually especially going to miss Commissioner Castleline going off the court because of the resource he has been to us over the years because of that historical knowledge you have and, you know, why this was made or why that was done. I think it's important to have continuity on a court also. I just don't think that to say that salary is a reason to have somebody up here or not have somebody up here as a factor is a misleading because that shouldn't be the driving force in serving. And I don't think anybody here serves because of salary.
Sheriff, you want to weigh in? You look good, by the way.
Told my wife I'm
I
not
like
sold
that.
on it yet.
I like that tie.
They should have put Aransas County on there for me. I want to add that, Bob, this whole court, y'all are pretty active outside of this 9 o'clock Monday morning business. I don't think any of you, if you really thought about it, and you didn't realize how much time you were going to put in when you ran, regardless of what the salary was. I think the time that y'all put in outside of here is indicative in the community. It served a big purpose. And your time is money, whether you're retired or not. I'm not saying that, it's not to say that you're running because of the salary, but I think you ought to be fairly compensated for the time that you put in and the effort that you do to move the community forward outside of voting on Monday morning at 9 o'clock. I've received calls from every one of y'all and invitations to community or neighborhood watch groups and such to address concerns that have come up. We've done that. Y'all have been, I go to the sheriff's conference and I listen to people talk about controversy with the court. I was told 18 years ago that I would either have a bad relationship with either my auditor or
Auditor is the most one you hear at a conference.
Oh, yeah, they're the problem.
they said either the treasurer or the auditor. And I've got to say in 18 years, I haven't experienced that at all. In 18 years, I can only think of one thing, or well, two things that the court denied. and it was in y'all's judgment. So I'm going to say that, 99.9% of the time, y'all been very supportive of the things that we've brought to the court as a sheriff's office. And I think there is a certain amount of truth to somebody when they told you I wouldn't run for it for that pay. I was told that in the last 2 months by an employee in my office, trying to figure out, is anybody really going to step up when I decide to retire and leave? In his comment, I wouldn't do it for what you're paid.
Yeah.
And because to make that transition, you become an exempt employee, you don't get to work overtime. But I don't believe the
Oh,
employees
you
of.
get to work overtime, you just don't get paid.
Hey, I often say grant work with Stone Garden, you're putting it in. And everybody says, well, it's Friday. Friday doesn't mean anything to me and a lot of y'all. It just means that you're hopeful that somebody is going to take the call for you. And I've been fortunate with the staff I have. But I want to address, I don't want y'all to block it out and say, gee whiz, I did it for the money. But I think you ought to be compensated for the time that you put in, because I know every one of you put in more time than you ever anticipated when you ran.
Thank you.
I kind of, and to be honest with you, when I said I think the pay was commensurate to what I'd get, because I put in a fair amount of hours every week, I think. And I took my salary and that the gross salary we receive as commissioners, and we're all pretty close to it. And I actually divided it out. And if you were going to equate it to hours, and I thought, well, it's a fair, very fair compensation for what we do,
I don't agree with Commissioner
Well-
Jean. I have a husband who believes I work 60 hours a week and tells everyone who asks that I put in that number of hours. I'm not sure I put in 60. I try to recognize Saturday evening and Sunday mostly as my days, but not everyone appreciates that. But I will say the money is not the reason I ran. I ran on principle and concern for the community, and it has been suggested very heavily that, oh, well, some of you are just in someone's pocket. I'm in no one's pocket. I don't agree with a lot of people, not even my husband, and I always.
That's not anything new for.
No, it's not, from when I was the HR director.
If we all got paid for that, we'd all be rich.
But I also agree with Misty, we are public servants, and when I was the HR director, I would remind my staff and other staff members of that. We're here to serve the public. They're not a nuisance, they're not an inconvenience, they're the reason we have a job. I still feel that way. It doesn't matter what our title is, we're all public servants.
Correct.
And I consider it an honor to serve. I do not think that I am being recognized and rewarded richly in terms of dollar amounts, but when I see people in the grocery store that I don't even know who come up and thank me for my service, that means a lot. That means more than handing me a $1,000 check, and I mean that sincerely. So I'm here until the end of 2028, and I don't know about beyond that, but it is my honor to serve, and I make my own decisions.
Well, I had a different maybe than most of reason when I ran, because I was griping about the incumbent commissioner to a friend of mine, and he said, well, put up or shut up. So I said, all right, if you'll help me, I'm in. So that's how I got started, and I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah, it's an honor to be a commissioner. It really is. I mean, whenever I was city manager, everywhere I went, I was city manager. But as a county commissioner, whatever county I go in, I'm treated with respect and honor if I can afford the gas. Oh, well, there's some things that I'd like to see changed in commissioner's salary and that sort of thing. All in all, we make somewhere around, $24,000 a year, something like that, a base salary. I don't know, it's something in that order. But I'd like some fuel compensation and things like that, because, we all have precincts we have to attend to, and that takes a lot of fuel. But the salary, I think the cost of living, that helps out some, everything. But we don't need to be making $80,000 a year. We don't need to be making $60,000 a year. I don't-
Unless you make it retroactive.
But, you know, sometimes an increase in salary is more an appreciation than it is a necessity. And I think sometimes we're really unappreciated, especially that 2 o'clock in the morning that I get and find out it's in Bubba's precinct. But anyway, I'm glad to be, and I'm only going to be here. This is my last term too, so y'all are going to have, if Commissioner Russo stays with her plan in mind, they're going to have 3 newbies on here. And,
I didn't say I wasn't running, Commissioner Cheney, I just
Oh, I
said,
don't, if you
it's
run, I
fine.
don't think anybody beats you, girl.
well,
Yeah, anyway. But it's an honor to be a commissioner, and it's hard to separate, you know, the low salary. It is a low salary for the amount of time that you put in. But again, as Commissioner Cashel and also Commissioner Dubnik said, it's an honor, and I take it as that. But I could use an increase.
And I'll just say, I want them to work, the commissioners. And when I get all the phone calls, depending on the temperature of the situation, I go, have you contacted your commissioner? Here, I'll send you their information, so.
I always tell them to call the judge if they want.
They do.
Hey, this sounds like a problem before the judge, you know? You want his home number, his midnight number?
It's out there.
so can I move to adjourn?
Well, I'll make a question before we do that. Are we gonna be discussing, the hot funds anymore? I know there were some requests that came before the court at some point earlier, initial request, and we never really came back and talked about them anymore. I was just,
Do we have an update? Can you put it on the?
I can.
So, and weren't y'all going to ask about the one that was requested for the museum and for the schoolhouse in Fulton? Weren't you want to look in if that could legally be done?
It can.
and also
And there
that
was
stove, that
requests that came in
Wings Over
over the
Rockport
weekend.
fly-in, I like to officially just have a, you know, what, I know y'all looked into that
So
one
that won't be
also.
in there yet, is it?
The event, I guess itself, or expenses for the event itself is not eligible, but advertising.
Advertising.
Yeah, just want to be clear about that.
Yes.
The event itself, we can't sponsor, but the idea of the hot funds is basically promotion, right, as far as advertising. and-
Yeah, okay.
For some of them, for things like the visitor center, the aquarium, museums, it doesn't have the same restrictions. And a
Right.
request came in that the judge and I received over the weekend, so an amended request, so you don't have that yet.
I do not have that.
Right.
No,
He'll-
ma'am.
He'll get it to you.
Okay.
And and we'll be showing that in our budget also as far as those changes.
Yes, sir. If you look on the screen, I do have the latest, besides the one that you did just receive, what Commissioner Russo was talking about.
Do you want me to call it on my phone? I think, was it an email, I think?
It was an email. I think it was the Seafair and Hummingbird Fest. Go ahead
In
and
the
put
chamber.
for the chamber. Go ahead and put 2,500 on each one.
On each, okay.
Okay.
For the,
For they're going to do more targeted advertising.
Beyond what the CVB might be doing.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, I can't
'cause
find
thought
it.
they said they were taking care of it when they were here, that was being done through the city.
But they're going to do
But
some more targeted.
Here,
okay.
we needed to change this
So,
one. I didn't change.
The Chamber of Commerce, they were asking for 60,000
That's for
That's
the visitor center.
visitor
for the
center.
visitor center, and that is gonna be, we're looking at keeping that the same, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that the legislative code that just applies to us allows.
I think we should put the one in for the schoolhouse in Fulton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not added that in here. I need to create an account number, but yes, sir, I do have, giving them $3,000.
And my reasoning is, all of our money comes from out of any city limits. And if you read down the list and see where most of our money goes, I've always thought more of it should go in more varied positions. I mean,
Yes.
most of our hot funds come downtown Rockport.
We'll add it.
And then, yes, I did do Rockport Center for the Arts.
Did Wings Over Rockport, did they send in an amended request?
No, sir, I did
Okay.
not get an
I
amended
thought- I
request.
thought I saw something, I just didn't.
Well, I saw this packet, that's why I was wondering, you had a new packet in here.
Well, that actually was what they
He
presented
presented?
last week on the
Okay.
thumb drive
Oh, okay.
that I didn't have ahead of time to give to you all.
Okay, that's what I was wondering about, that's okay.
Yes, sir.
But the 8,000 that was put in is only for,
Advertising.
yeah,
Advertising.
advertising, not for
Right,
a
right.
fee
That's-
to bring in the group
Is that
or
better?
anything else. So they'll have to present those receipts.
And that is all upon receipt of receiving the receipts from these people.
Yes, sir.
And I talked with Debbie Thompson with the Council on Aging, because as she mentioned, she was not aware that they had money for helping to advertise that. And so she already has a plan going for the 2027 Bountiful Bowl event too. Yeah, so you may be hearing from her. Because I told her to call the auditor's office if she had any questions.
So are we saying this list of things you gave us for direction of requests needs to wait till we can take a vote, or? we're just gonna-
No, you can give us direction on.
Because I think as a whole, what your vote would be at adoption time for the budget as a whole, and then right now, you can just direct me to add in what you would like me to add in, or take out what you want me to take out.
If
But I
we-
know from last week's discussion, these were some of the items that still had not been addressed, and
If we were to, can you give us a figure on if we were to cut the asked for added positions and loading associated, what that would affect us?
They're not even included.
They're not in, they are in this, aren't they?
the,
Oh, the salaries aren't though, right? I guess the salaries wouldn't.
correct, those are not. So the only thing that has been added is the,
JP2.
yes, sir.
What is that?
did you-
JP2's request of changing the part-time position to a full-time, that has been added in. You did direct me to do that last
Right.
week.
And the sheriff's request is actually already budgeted, but it's just a matter of using the money that's allocated for a job for going to,
Well, not necessarily, no, sir. I think that there were some other requests just for leadership roles that needed to be realigned, and that would add. I have not calculated that exactly, but
We need figures, yeah.
Can you just send us a sheet?
I can.
With those figures rather than putting it into the budget itself?
can.
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Can you also reflect what impact of 7.5% would have on that?
I can.
I couldn't, what'd you say?
He wants to know what the salary survey would have on some of what he's requested, I think was,
Impact on my request.
It will. It will.
you could work with Desiree then?
Well, I already have a list of, on the option that you guys are discussing right now, the 7.5% increment section. I do already have numbers for salaries, which I believe some of the majority of the sheriff's leadership roles he's requesting, it already does affect.
So it would make those changes
It
without
w-
having to consider something else above and
The
beyond?
majority.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that would be good.
Maybe we should have a meeting tomorrow and I could get with these departments and let them know kind of where we're at.
Okay.
If y'all want.
Yeah,
if-
I'd like to kind of have an idea where we're at before our next meeting, be able to work all this out.
We could have a meeting tomorrow, or is that
Yeah,
just?
we've got a
Well-
scheduled workshop for tomorrow, so we can.
At 9 a.m.
But we wouldn't, would we have paperwork before then?
Yes, I can do that today.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And it'll be in our box like sometime this afternoon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
You can
ma'am.
just-
I can do that.
You okay with that?
As long as I see it beforehand, I mean, there's no sense coming in and then we're all sitting here looking through the same pages.
Yeah, we need a chance to digest what's put out before us.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to just make a decision right now, take out JP2 without talking to JP2.
I
Right,
understand,
right.
that's understandable.
All right, so I'll see y'all tomorrow at 9.
So move to adjourn?
One other thing though, real quick, I would like to add, the other request that is already in the budget from a previous workshop is the district clerks moving their part-time to a full-time. That is in the budget.
And that was voted on?
It was directed, not
Was
voted.
that at that Monday meeting I missed?
That was when the young lady.
No, no, ma'am, I believe the previous meeting before that, in July
Oh, it's not on here.
or June, I think, is when we discussed all of that.
I know it was discussed, I didn't know it was decided.
I didn't think it was
Yes.
decided, it was, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if it was decided. Maybe I nodded at you, I don't know. But we could.
Okay.
We could talk about it.
Okay.
How much does it add? I'm sorry?
I don't know, I don't have those notes with me at this time, but let me see if I,
Oh, yeah, it's in our last June 29th budget. It's in there.
Or July
Ju-
29th?
July 20.
oh, it is. Let me-
What percent loading do we normally have on employee salaries?
I'm sorry, say that
What
again?
percent loading do we normally have on employee salaries?
It's about 30%.
That's what I was- right at
give or
30%.
take. Yes, sir.
It added $18,583. That's a pretty significant increase from taking somebody from part-time to full-time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And why is
The-
that being
The
done?
majority of that increase is insurance. Now, making him full-time, we have to,
Provide, yes, I understand. I mean, thank you for pointing that out, but I understand when they go from part-time to full-time, they get
That's
all of the benefits. And health
significant loading.
insurance is significant.
that would be the biggest cost in
And
the
that's why I was
increase.
concerned about that loading, when we go from part-time to full-time, because that becomes a perpetual add-on.
Yes.
It does.
So are we going to look at a budget without that going from part-time to full-time?
I can give you numbers for both scenarios.
I had one question on the changes that we made, possible made here. Under the healthcare sales tax, Commissioner Russo asked of how much of the $20,000 budgeted for animal care for professional services. Why is that under healthcare sales tax for animals?
We pay for a lot of the flea and tick control.
Is that
Out of
an eligible,
healthcare.
is that an
Yes,
eligible
sir.
expense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's all I want to know, because I thought, well, that's,
But however, in 2025, we spent under 10,000. And as I noted, only not quite 2,300 had been spent for 2026. Because I know Another Chance picks up a lot of that expense.
You want to add something?
There is probably, since you've seen that, I know she had a significant purchase just this last month, so there is additional on there. And they do pick up some, Another Chance does pick up some. Some of this is just timing, if they've got a lot on hand, but I know that they did just do a large purchase.
It just seemed 20,000 was exceptionally high since less than 10 was spent last year. I mean, just an observation. And since Iris is here, I know that you had talked and explained the rationale for the part-time to full-time based on our staying accredited. And when the population in the community hit, I think it was the 25,000 mark. But are we sure that we're going to hit the 25,000 mark next year? And you might want to come to the microphone, please. Because that's adding 35,000 to the budget too.
No, Commissioner, I'm not sure we're gonna hit it. We go up 200 and something just about every year.
Yeah.
However, I was looking ahead, so that way it doesn't come up all of a sudden and we're like, we don't have a
Yeah.
full-time.
Is that,
We-
is that
Yes.
also that population you mentioned, is it based on the next census or on,
I get the information from the state library.
what the state says?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I was wondering, if it's based on next census, we're still, a few years off from the next census.
Yes, no, I get the information from the state library, and it seems to go up. Maybe, I think I did from 2020, and it goes up 189, 201,
Yeah.
so it's steadily going up. But again, I was just looking ahead to make sure that we just don't stay without anyone.
That's understand, we have to have a plan, that's understandable.
That's, and
Okay, thanks.
What was it that, we had the question about when we went to JP's? What did y'all find out on that?
It's 50,000
Was
population.
it 50,000 population? We have to at 50,000, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good, that gives us some time.
All right. Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Commissioner Cheney,
What are we voting on?
adjournment.
To adjourn, yes, aye.
Commissioner Castelline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick, Judge Garza.
Hi. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow at 9.